Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihare. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihare. Gopijana Balaba Girivanadari. Gopijana Balaba Girivanadari. Jasodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Jasodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Chamunatira Bunatari. Chamunati Ravanantari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Vihari. Gopijana Balaba Girivanandari. Jasodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Chamunati Ravanatari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Vihari. Gopijana Balaba Girivanandari. Jasodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Chamunati Ravanatari. Chamunati Ravanatari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Vihari. Radha Madhava Kunda Vihari. Jai Vishnupad Paramahansa Pariva Jakacharya Shish His Divine Grace Abhaycharan Bhakti Vedanta Sai Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki. ISKCON BBT founder Acharya Jogaguru Srila Prabhupada Ki. Ananta Kota Vaishnava Vrinda Ki. Namchar Shri Haridas Thakur Ki. Prem Shri Gaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki. Say Sri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki. Vrindavan Dham Ki. Mathura Dham Ki. Dwak Kadam ke, Navaridam ke, Jagannapuridam ke, Chamunamai ke, Gangamai ke, Tulsi Maharani ke, Bhakti Devi ke, Sambhira Bhakti Vindike, Srila Prabhupada ki, Sri Siddhara Giridhari ki, Shri Krishna Sankirtana Jaga ki, Gopremanande. All glories to the Sambhava devotees. All glories to the Sambhava devotees. All glories to the Sambhava devotees. All glories to the divine Lotus Feet, the Sri Guru and Gauranga. Do I know you from Las Vegas?
Yes, we met last week.
That's where I said, I know this man from somewhere. Nice to see you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Krishna Swadamo Bhagate Dhamagyanari Bisaha Kalana Sadasham Misha Parana Kona Dodita Narayana Namaskritchandanam Chaivam Narottama Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudirayat. The Bhagavatam is as brilliant as the sun. It has arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, accompanied by knowledge, religion, etc. Persons who've lost their vision to the dense darkness of the age of Kali should get light out of this Purana. Before beginning our study of the Srimad-Bhagavatam, which is a very means of conquest, we should first offer our respects to the personality of God in Narayan, the Narayan Rishi, the supremmost human being, the goddess of learning, Mother Saraswati, the author, Srila Vyasadeva, and the spiritual master, our spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. Just as a sidelight, by the way, can we shut the door just for the traffic? You got it? Okay, fantastic. Although they figured and I don't know what it is now, it's increased, but about 20 years ago, an average of 2,000 to 3,000 cars per day went down this street or up. So I don't know what it is now. You can just shut these. Just shut. Hey, Glenn, come here. Yeah, just these. These two, they'll do the job. Thanks. And according to Vastu and Vedic architectural principles, the deity should always face east. But we are missions, east is that way. We are missions, servants of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission, who is unlimitedly merciful. Here the devotees are facing south, because everyone who goes by, especially when the light is red and the cars back up and stop, looks this way, and what do they see? Zzz, beautiful Radhagiri Hari. So it's actually their mercy. Same thing in Watsika. They're giving their mercy. They're facing, where people can see them. So we are not stuck up, as Prabhupada would say, or locked into arcane principles, that we follow the principles because, we've always done it that way and that's the way it's done. But what is the essential of all the Vedic literatures, not Dravida, of all the Vedic literatures, what does Rupa Goswami say is the bottom line? Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. And that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement. That's how Prabhupada designed this society, so people can get Krishna's mercy. Okay, so we are on, let's see here. Where are we? We are on Canto 4, Chapter 16, Text 19, correcto? And this is glorifying the professional glorifiers chanting the glories of King Prithu Maharaj. Ayam tu sakshad bhagavangs tri adisha kuta sta atma kalayavatirna. This aha But I actually was listening to the Gita last night where they actually chant the verses, and they don't do the actual, if you listen to the Gita and where it has audio, it doesn't do this on Veda base. It doesn't do this syllable business. Interestingly enough. Listen to it, you'll see. Doesn't do it. I was surprised. Yasmin avidya rachitam nirartakam pashanti nanatvam api pratitam ayam tu shakshad bhagavan triyadisha kutasta atma kalayavatirna yasmin avidya rachitam nirartakam pashanti natyam api pratitam ayam tu shakshad bhagavan triyadisha kutasta atma kalayavatirtna yasmin avidya rachitam nirartakam pashanti nanatvam api pratitam ayam tu shakshad bhagavan triyadisha kutasta atma kalayavatirna yasmin avidya rachitam nirartakam pashanti nanatyam api pratitam Yadisha kutasta atma kalayavatirna yasmin avidya rachitam nirartakam pashanti nanatvam api pratitam ayam tu shakshad bhagavan triyadisha yasmin avidyam rachitam nirartakam pashanti nanatvam Vaishnavi ayam tu shakshad bhagavan triyadisha kutasta atma kalayavatirna yasmin avidya rachitam nirartakam pashanti nanatvam api pratit ayam, this king, tu, then, shakshad, directly, Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Triyadisha, the master of the three planetary systems, Kutastha, without any change, Atma, the Supersoul, Kalaya, by a partial plenary expansion, Avatirna, descended, Yasmin, in whom, Avidya Rachitam, created by nescience, Nirartakam, without meaning, Pashanti, they see, Nanatvam, material variegatedness, Api, certainly, Pratitam, understood. Translation, this king, meaning Prithu Maharaj, is the master of the three worlds, and he is directly empowered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is without change, and he is an incarnation of the Supreme known as a Shaktavesha avatara. Being a liberated soul and completely learned, he sees all material varieties as meaningless because their basic principle is nescience. Also you say, this king is the master of the three worlds, and he's indirectly empowered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's without change, and he is an incarnation of the Supreme, known as a Shaktavesha avatara. Being a liberated soul and completely learned, he sees all material varieties as meaningless because their basic principle is nescience. Purport. The reciters of these prayers are describing the transcendental qualities of Prithu Maharaj. These qualities are summarized in the word Shakshad Bhagavan. This indicates that Maharaj Prithu is directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead and therefore possesses unlimited good qualities. Being an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Maharaj Prithu could not be equaled in his excellent qualities. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is fully equipped with 6 kinds of opulence, and King Prithu was also empowered in such a way that he could display these 6 opulences of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in full. The word kutastha, meaning without change, is also very significant. There are 2 kinds of living entities, Nitya Mukta and Nitya Bada. The Nitya Mukta never forgets his position as the eternal servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who does not forget this position and knows that he is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord is Nitya Mukta. Such a Nitya Mukta living entity represents the Supersoul as his expansion. What does that mean? Such a Nitya Mukta living entity represents the Supersoul as his expansion by preaching his message, by following his teachings. So it's not every Nitya Mukta. But he's the Supersoul? Anyway, we'll deal with that one later on. Something is not quite straight here. As stated in the Vedas, Nitya Nityanam. Thus, the Nitya Mukta living entities know that he is an expansion of the Supreme Nitya, or the eternal Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yeah, expansion. Okay, I guess we can accept it in that way. Not as the Supersoul, but an expansion. Being in such a position, he sees the material world with a different vision. That's what it's all about, really, to see the world with a different vision. We see the same thing they see, but we see it in a completely different way. This was an Elks Lodge. Elks are famous for being alcoholic. They have an open free bar for club members. It was a movie theater. It was a factory. It was originally built as a Navy barracks by the Army Corps of Engineers in the 1930s. It's built like a bridge. It's a solid building. So what's the difference? Little artwork, a little Jayapuri, Rajasthani style artwork. What's the difference? It would be a nice disco. We could get a disco ball right here. Very attractive on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But it's for Krishna. So the whole thing is completely different. Okay. So where were we? Thus, Nitya Mukta living entity knows that he is an expansion of the Supreme Nitya, or the eternal Supreme Personality of Godhead. Being in such a position, he sees the material world with a different vision. The living entity, who is Nityabhada, or eternally conditioned, sees the material varieties as being actually different from one another. In this connection, we should remember that the embodiment of the conditioned soul is considered to be like a dress. One may dress in different ways, but a really learned man does not take the dresses into consideration. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Vidyavinaya sampanne brahmane gavihastini sunikaiva sapaka cha pandita samadarshanaha. The humble sage, by virtue of true knowledge, sees with equal vision a learned and gentle Brahman, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog-eater or outcast. Thus, A learned man does not look upon the dresses that externally cover the living entity, but sees the pure soul within the varieties of the dress, and knows very well that the varieties of dress are the creation of nescience avidya rachitam. Being a Shaktivesh avatar, empowered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Prithu Maharaj did not change his spiritual position, and consequently there was no possibility of his viewing the material world as reality. Umagana tamarandasya ganagana salakaya chakshu shurmilitangena tazane shi gurave maha. So it says one could come to a Buddhist static conclusion reading this verse. It's all nescience, it's all illusion. Let me be like the Gnostics or the early Christian monks. Let me go inside a cave, because this world is profane and corruptive, and it's all illusion anyway. That rascal, and because it's an in-house audience, I think, Dalai Lama. I can eat anything because it's all one. In fact, he said this to Anuttama Prabhu, our ISKCON Anuttama Prabhu, at a dinner. They were sitting next to each other, and he had the beef plate. And Anuttama's met him several times, so they had a little bit of a rapport. They've spoken. He was there as he's the head of different interfaith groups, so they were sitting at a table together. Anuttama Prabhu was taking his salad and whatever, So in a polite way, Anuttama said, "What's up with this?" And the Buddhist and the Dalai Lama said, "Well, to state preferences is ego and pride. I want, I like, I this, I that, and I accept whatever's put in front of me, because after all, it's all the flow of the one material energy, and it's all illusion. If they give me vegetarian, whatever they put in my bowl, I'm a monk. So if they put vegetarian, I take vegetarian. They put, Of course, if you took a dump in his bowl, he wouldn't eat that. I mean, sorry to be scatological, but he definitely prefers. But Anuttama intelligently pointed out, when we got this invitation, and they said, "Are you going to stay for the lunch?" You could check the box, and there was, the RSVP, and you could check veg and non-veg. So you, sir, checked the non-veg box, which means you expressed a preference. You know what the Dalai Lama said? "Oh, I need to finish my tea." What does that mean? He doesn't have an answer. So, but the point is, on one hand, Prabhupada, on that famous walk, as long as we're in a scatological mood, Prabhupada was walking along, swung his cane towards the lawn where a dog had done his business, and Prabhupada said, "Which side is better, wet side or dry side?" Dravida Prabhu can't say, Balaram can't say. Does anyone want to argue which side of the dog dropping is better, wet side or dry side? The devotees immediately split into two camps, and one side argued eloquently for the benefits of the wet side. The other argued for the dry side. Dry side's easier to clean up. Wet side is better for fertilizer. I don't know what the arguments were, and after letting it go on for some time, Prabhupada, in his sublime Socratic method of answering by asking questions, began to chuckle, and Prabhupada said, "It is dog stool. Wet side, dry side. What is the use? It's the same nasty substance." So on one hand, this world is a river of names. We say microphone, glasses, my body, iPad, but it's really just that if you come back in 100 years, will this be an iPad? It'll be broken into 1,000 pieces. Who knows what it will be? I certainly won't be here. And the body, I may be a little mouse that gets to come and take darshan sometimes. But so it's all a river of names. Does that mean that we're indifferent to it? That we should go off to the caves in the Himalayas and seal ourselves up? Shanti, shanti? People say, I love it. I'm going to use it all the time with Indian folks now. Oh, I am praying to the God. I am praying to God. Okay, fine. Big deal. It's static, inert, and practically irrelevant. What are you doing for Krishna? I am praying. Fine. What are you doing? Praying is easy. God give me this, God give me that. So what? The whole world is praying to God. You're something special? Oh, I'm praying to God. Because you got to snap them out of that bubble. Oh, I'm a pious Hindu, everything is fine. No, it's not. What are you doing for Krishna? That's the real thing. So the devotee knows. Jayananda Prabhu, one of the heroes of our society. What's the time? Jayananda Prabhu. Prabhupada certified as an American saint. He would do, to support the temple, he would travel and sell incense. And he would never spend any money to stay at a hotel or motel. He would always find some friend, and so he had a whole string on his. He traveled all over Northern California, Oregon, Nevada, so many places. In those they call them hippie shops, head shops, selling packs of incense, and the money supported the temple. While the rest of us were in play in the hand of God. So, and so many of those people that he stayed with became devotees. So many of them. The way Jayananda would spend the night, first thing he'd do is take off his chadar, throw it over the TV set up a nice altar, throw out everything out of the fridge, cook some nice prasadam, turn the whole living room into a temple room. Shoot the dog outside. So we know how to use everything. We know how to use it in Krishna's service. Prabhupada was riding in Detroit, coming back from his morning walk, in Detroit, as he called. Anyway, there's so many stories about that. And he would come around the corner 3 different times. He came around the corner and said, this is Mahaprabhu's movement. Anyway, I don't want to get off the track. We'll tell that some other time. So the question is, do we come to this full stop that the world it's all zero, it's all meaningless, it's all ephemeral, it has no reality, and therefore it doesn't matter what I do, or I should have nothing to do with it? Is that the answer? Prabhupada was cutting fruit. The devotee asked Prabhupada, what is material, what is spiritual? Anyone know Prabhupada's answer in relation to the knife? Yes. That knife in the hand of a surgeon can save his life. I was on an airplane with a man was choking on something and they couldn't get it out. And with a knife, with a butter knife, the guy did it, was it trachectomy? What is it called? Whatever. We had to cut a hole right here and clear, and so he could breathe, save the man. The man would have died. He was a surgeon with a butter knife, saved the guy's life. The same knife in the hand of a robber, you're waltzing down the street, everything's groovy. Some guy jumps out from a bush, takes your wallet, you're finished. So is the knife good or bad? You know the answer. So anyone want to say? Balaram knows. Dravida Prabhu knows. Is the knife good or bad? We want some of the others to churn their brains. Damodar Kumar, knife good or bad? Exactly. It is totally in the utilization of the thing. What is it Narada Muni says? Does not that thing therapeutically treated become the cure of the self-same disease? By drinking milk, one gets a disturbance in the digestive system. Too much milk, overindulgence in milk products. What's the cure? Ayurvedic cure? Yogurt. It is the same thing as milk, isn't it? On one hand, just a little culture, therapeutically treated, it's transformed. And it cures. So it's the vision as it's being described here. That is the beauty of bhakti vision. Devotees can use anything in Krishna's service. Okay. And therefore the whole world opens up. Everything becomes a source of happiness for the devotee, a source of remembrance, a source of purification. So, because we only have a few minutes left here, it talks about Krishna being the master of the three worlds. Everybody, we all have something in common. Every living entity has something in common. Okay, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Okay. But it's another type of activity. What is that activity that every living entity... Yeah, I just locked you up for that one. You can answer now, Dravida Prabhu. What activity does every living entity have in this world? Service. Wait a minute. How does Trump get elected? What does he promise to do? Serve the citizens. I will make America great again. Because some people say he's teaching make America hate again, but that's another thing. I will make America great for you. You elect me and I'll be your servant. Everybody's a servant. Napoleon. Even Prabhupada says in the Bhagavatam, Caesar. Who was Caesar a servant of? The great Julius Caesar, the Roman. He had to serve Cleopatra. He had to bow down to the Queen of Egypt. There it was. So everyone's serving someone. So if we have to follow someone, Prabhupada said to Professor Katofsky, he was rattling on about Marxism. What did Prabhupada say? He was, well, you're just following Bhagavad Gita, but we are following Marx and Lenin. What did Prabhupada say? What's the difference? You're following Marx and Lenin? Prabhupada said, do you know why everyone's lined up at Lenin's tomb in Russia? Not so much, I don't know what it's like anymore, but in the old days, under the communist era, there was always a huge line where they were, and he's 90% wax. Yeah, whole body's rotted away. But you can go there and see Lenin's tomb there. And if you were, like you go to Mecca or we go to Vrindavan, if you were a bona fide communist, you had to make at least once in your life a pilgrimage to see Lenin in Red Square. Prabhupada saw everyone lined up and said, what is this? He asked Shyamasundar. Shyamasundar said, oh, Prabhupada, they're all lined up as faithful communists to see Lenin. Anyone know Prabhupada's answer? You know why they're lined up? Just to make sure he's dead. That's why they were all lined up. So everyone's following someone. You can follow Lenin, who made a hellish place. Anyway, it's off the track. But at the time, before the communists took over, do you know that Russia was industrially one of the leading nations in the world? It was the largest exporter of wheat in the world. Even under the fleckless, foolish last few czars, certainly Nicholas, it was a powerhouse. And they turned it into, people, they what is it? I don't know, 40 million, 20 million? At that point, what's the difference? Starved, forced starvation. So he turned it into hell. So the point I want to make is that nothing changes in this world. It says here in the verse, it said that nothing changes. It doesn't change. What doesn't change? Someone said to Prabhupada, well, you're reading Bhagavad Gita, but that's thousands of years old, arcane. I mean, look how simplistic. They're fighting with bows and arrows. Of course, he missed the part about the Brahmastra. That's another thing. They could kill the child within the womb and not hurt the mother. That's pretty scientific. But even you take their riding on horses, just for fun, when Arjuna saved the demon, Mayadanava, from the forest fire. Agni had a indigestion. Swaha, so many materialistic people offering things. So they're offering all these things with fruit of desires and materialistic sinful actions. Agni Dev got indigestion. So he wanted to take an Ayurvedic Rolade or a digestive aid. So he wanted to consume a fire. Forest fire, sorry. Consume a forest fire, because there's so many herbs in the forest. And that would aid his indigestion. But Indra, who was the father of Arjuna, just to trust, when the fire started, he poured rain just to test his son, Arjuna. And Arjuna shot a whole canopy of arrows that blocked the rain, and the forest fire burned. And in the forest was Mayadanava, who was saved by Arjuna. It's Mahabharata. So Arjuna, he wanted to give a benediction. And he said, I will give you Yantra Veda. Yantra Veda means mechanical science. All these gizmos, devices, gas propulsion, what all these little funky different all these little devices. It's all there in the Vedas. What happened? Krishna said, don't take it. It'll spoil everything. Don't take it. All these machines make so much noise and pollution. And it used to be 50,000 people a year. 50,000, not just casual, not just hit by a car, but killed. That's not broken leg, crushed, whatever. 50,000, I don't know what it is now. That was 20 years ago, so it's increased, I'm sure. 50,000 people a year, every year, were killed by cars. Now you got a Prius, they can't hear you coming. So much for advancement. But the point I'm trying to make is what's changed. Prabhupada said, they were prehistoric, antiquated, bows and arrows. What's changed? Living in hermitages. They didn't have big skyscraper buildings. Huh? Why should we hear from them? Anyone know Prabhupada's answer? Had the three modes of material nature changed? Everyone's controlled. If you read the chairman of the psychiatry department, University of Michigan, had one of the best schools in that field, used to come to Bhagavad Gita class. He said Bhagavad Gita, those last chapters, describe determination, the mode of determination, the mode of ignorance, passion, But all the different qualities, work in the different, three modes, foods in the three. He said it's the best understanding of human psychology he had ever read. The man graduated from Harvard. Best understanding of human psychology he had ever read. Krishna explained in Bhagavad Gita 5,000 years ago. And then he's just repeating what the sun god. It's the same thing. Even the Bible says nothing new under the sun. Nothing new under the sun. Three modes of material nature haven't changed. What are the three gates to hell? Anybody know? Lust, anger, and greed. Has that changed? What do you think? Oh, we're free from lust, anger, and greed? It's not woven, baked into the society? It's the whole motivation. It's why they get out of bed in the morning is lust, anger, and greed. Mixed with a little envy, a little avarice, covetousness, what is the 7 deadly sins? Toss in it's like a smoothie, you throw in the three modes of nature, you throw in the lust, anger, and greed, put a little covetousness in there, a little envy, and you got material life. Goes down smooth. So, just then it doesn't go down smooth. So everyone's following someone. That's my point. Why not follow Krishna, the master of the three worlds? Why not? And it's a classic example, but it works and it helps people understand. If I'm going up a steep hill and I don't see the path, I can't see over the tumbleweed bushes in front of me. I may walk off a cliff, I may run into a nest of rattlesnakes, I may walk into a patch of cactus, I don't know, I can't see 5 feet in front of me. What about the guy at the top of the hill who can look down and see the whole slope? What's his position? He has full vision. What is it? Tadvidi pranipatena? Yeah, he has full vision. Tattva-darshan, he has full vision. He can say, don't go that way, you'll fall off a cliff. Hey, not that way, bozo. That's where those rattlesnakes are. Come to the left. He can see the whole path. So someone is in knowledge. So why not hear from Krishna? Anyone know the reason? And we'll wrap up in a few minutes. Well, here's what I was going to say. And I just wanted to say this for fun, because I don't want to forget it. There was what they called the 7 wonders of the world. the Straits of Rhodes, the Hanging Gardens of, who's that, ever that king is who no one's heard of, Nebuchadnezzar or whatever it is, Babylon, Hanging Gardens, so many things. But one of them was the Library of Alexandria, and it was considered to be the treasure trove. All the valuable books were, and it caught on fire and burned once, and all the knowledge was lost. It's true. I don't know I think it's true. Some kernel of truth. So the Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, just as when the Library of Alexandria was burnt, if all the books of knowledge on the world, on the planet, were lost, and Bhagavatam remained, nothing would be lost. Everything's in Bhagavatam. Because how do we measure? What is education? Prabhupada quoted this verse, who is a pundit? Wait. I'm a savant. I can do within my head the square root of this and that. I can add up so many figures. I've unlocked the genome. 26andMe, all the DNA code. I mean, that's pretty good stuff. I figured out the unified field theory. I'll get the Nobel Peace Prize immediately. Is that a pundit? Other than Dravida, what is the qualification of a pundit? Samadarshana. Okay, we can say that. That's true, because that's the verse Prabhupada quoted. Sees with equal vision. And Prabhupada adds on later on, Chanakya Pandit. See everyone other's property is garbage in the street. Everyone else other than his wife is his mother. What is the other one? There's a string there. This is a learned person. So the point is character. Real knowledge. Real wisdom. Real education means character. It doesn't mean that you can manipulate material nature and like wringing it out of a towel. You can get a little more sense gratification out of it. That's not knowledge. It's just polished dog and cat. Crows can use tools. Yeah, bears, they use sticks to, wedge in there and get the worms out. Big deal. You laser surgery and the bear's using a stick. Or the crow. Okay, you're more polished. Principle's the same. Character. Character is what counts. Trinadapi sunichena tororeva sahishana. This is where we're going to end. Trinadapi sunichena tororeva sahishana amanina manadena kirtanaya sadahadi. Those first three, lower than the straw in the street. What does that have to do with arrogance and I know everything and I can figure it all out and I don't need to listen to anyone. I'm the master of my own fate. I don't serve anybody. What does Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say? What is character? Lower than the straw in the street. Everyone is higher than me. You can't treat me like that. Well, who am I, What's the next one? Toraiva Sahishana? More tolerant than the tree. And we all know the trees stay hot, cold. People carve. Sally loves Fred in the thing. Dogs offer their respects in their unique fashion. Does the tree say, hey, come on, I'm out of here, Does the tree say, hey, forget winter, I'm going south. I'm going to join my friends down there in the Orange Grove. I had enough of this. Tolerant. So the point is that character, tolerance, service, patience, equal vision, everything belongs to Krishna. It's a river of names only, but let me use it in Krishna's service. That's character. That's quality. They say about the president, just to nail the point home, well, he's competent. They said that about Clinton. He's a hound. He's a hound dog. Chasing after women. It was well known. Slick Willie, that was his nickname. Because he's a cheater, a liar. How do you know if a politician is lying? His lips are moving. Well, it doesn't matter. They're competent. They're competent. Well, Trump, he's a dog. He's a racist. Hare Krishna. Misogynistic. Hey, but That tax cut made me money. I like his policies. But here it's describing a real leader, character, because ultimately character counts. When there's a war, when there's a crisis, every president does not execute his plan. Generally speaking, they are hit by a crisis that no one could have predicted. They're hit by a war, an economic disaster, they're hit by terror, they're hit by something that was not in the playbook. Generally speaking, every president. What defines their presidency is an unknown, unexpected event, generally speaking. And therefore, what makes the difference is what's their character. Can they stand up to it? So here we're reading about why are we in this temple? If I go to a 7-Eleven and I ask for a set of tires, what's the guy going to say to me? Huh? Hey, buddy, Big O's next door, you know? That's not what we do. That's not what we're about here. That's not what we're about here. So I came here, I didn't find a beautiful wife. Well, I didn't solve all my distress. Rather, I found that I had to work harder as a devotee. Does that mean that Krishna consciousness says, hey, I'm supposed to be happy? Well, you've got to give up your attachments. You've got to take the medicine. If you just lick the bottle, you're not going to get the honey. If you don't follow according to the prescription of the doctor. So that's what an ashram's for. That's why we're here. We're here to mold our character, to become our better selves. And that better self is the change of character. Why is exercise painful? Because we could be lying on the couch eating Pringles, but I mean, okay. But what happened? The muscle rips. Is that a bad thing? Why? It gets stronger. That's why we are here. Intelligent people understand that the purpose of this world is not to try to squeeze out a little something, but to actually change my character for the better by following Krishna. Let me become an actual pandit. Let me become a self-realized soul. Let me understand, instead of serving everything in the world, a dog or a cat, Dwarkadisha's poem, instead of loving a dog or a cat, anyone know the last line other than Dravida? Prabhupada loved this it was a little poem by a 6-year-old boy. Instead of loving just a dog or a cat, why not love Krishna who, not Dravida, made all of that? Simple and profound. Well, what is this? We're having class. We're almost done. So, molding character for the better to become servants of Krishna. That's knowledge. That's how to use this world. We'll end there. One last Sankirtan story I heard just last night. It's quite blissful. There was a devotee who wanted to commit suicide. Not a devotee, sorry, a conditioned soul. What is the use of this world? You know, really, whatever happiness I get is paltry and petty and putrefied and pernicious and passing. What is the use? I work so hard, I get it, I'm going to lose it, and when I get it, it's not much in the first place. In the meantime, I got to struggle, suffer, be knocked around like a football, have my heart broken, stomped on. It's interesting that Cupid, what is Cupid? He's got an arrow. Whoosh. Why is an arrowhead designed as it is? Anyone know? Okay, thermodynamically, aerodynamic. What's another reason an arrow is designed? Ah, very good. It goes in very easily, almost imperceptibly, isn't it? But you try to pull those prongs, rip out the flesh. Welcome to this material world. We get attached to so many things, and you have to give it up, which inevitably you do by the force of time. Oh, ripping out a big chunk of flesh with it. The time of death. Oh, Doc, give me 3 more months. You know? Okay, so I like the bumper sticker. If you're not paranoid, you haven't been paying attention. You know, if you think this world is going to row your boat gently down the stream, merrily, 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 life is but a dream. You heard that? It's a famous row your boat gently down the stream, merrily, 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 life is but a dream. But what's that distant roaring sound? oh, that's the waterfall I'm about to go over. So, we're not advocating suicide, but many intelligent people have come to this conclusion after deep analysis of this material world. So he was going to walk into the woods as far as he could until he couldn't walk out. Parked his car and just walked. Figured there's nothing to eat, there's no water, eventually, and I'll just die out in nature. That was his plan. Got completely lost, walked for 3 days, popped out at a rest stop on I-16 where the devotees were taking prasadam. Right in front of them. Who came right out of the woods, little nicked and scraped. I said, hey, would you like something to eat? Yeah, as long as I'm here. Sat down, got a Bhagavad Gita, read it, became a devotee. He's now in our Detroit ashram. Huh? I don't want to make it too sharp a pin on it because I don't want to embarrass he's now a devotee, full-time devotee. But just see, came out, met a devotee, read Bhagavad Gita, whole life has changed. So this is our business. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.